He didn't look dangerous. That was the first mistake. He was polite, well-spoken, the kind of man who held doors open, who smiled when he spoke, who made people feel comfortable. If you saw him walking down the street, you wouldn't look twice. And that was exactly how he wanted it. Because behind that calm exterior was a mind that understood something most people don't. Trust is easy to earn. And once you have it, people stop asking questions. In the early 1970s, young women began disappearing. No signs of struggle, no witnesses, no clear suspect, just gone. At first, the cases seemed unrelated. Different locations, different times, no obvious connection. But investigators began to notice something, a pattern that didn't quite make sense. Witnesses described a man, not threatening, not aggressive, but injured. Sometimes he wore a sling. Sometimes he used crutches. He would approach his targets, asking for help. Simple requests. Loading something into his car, carrying books, opening a door. Nothing unusual, nothing alarming. And that was the trap. Because the moment they agreed to help him, they stepped into a situation that they couldn't escape. He had figured out something terrifyingly simple. People don't fear someone who looks vulnerable. They feel sorry for them. And sympathy can be more dangerous than fear. As more disappearances were reported, the pattern became harder to ignore. College campuses, public places, daylight. This wasn't someone hiding in the shadows. This was someone moving through normal life, blending in, watching, waiting, and then choosing carefully. His name began to surface in whispers. Ted Bundy. At the time, he wasn't a known threat. In fact, he was the opposite. He studied law, worked in politics, volunteered, spoke well. To many people, he was someone with a future, which made it even harder to believe what he was capable of. Because the image didn't match the reality. And people trust what they see, even when it's wrong. As investigations intensified, law enforcement began connecting the cases. Descriptions matched, behavior patterns aligned. And slowly, a profile emerged. A man who used charm instead of force, who relied on manipulation instead of confrontation, who understood people just enough to control them. But even then, catching him wasn't easy, because he wasn't careless. He moved between states, changed routines, stayed unpredictable. And every time it felt like they were getting closer, he slipped away again. Until finally, in 1975, he was pulled over by police. At first, it seemed like a routine stop. But inside his car, they found things that didn't belong. Items that raised questions. Serious questions. He was arrested, and for the first time, the man behind the disappearances was sitting in a cell. But even then, the story didn't end. Because Ted Bundy wasn't just dangerous. He was patient, and he was always thinking ahead. During his trial, he did something no one expected. He chose to represent himself. Not because he had to, but because it gave him control. Control of the room, control of the narrative, control of how people saw him. And for a while, it worked. He spoke clearly, confidently. To some, he didn't look like a criminal. He looked convincing. But beneath that performance, something else was happening. He was watching, planning, waiting for an opportunity. And then he found one. In 1977, Ted Bundy escaped. Not once, but twice. The first time, he jumped from a courthouse window and disappeared into the mountains. For days, he evaded capture. But eventually, he was caught again, returned to custody, watched more closely. Or, at least, that's what they thought. Because months later, he escaped again. This time, it was different. He didn't run into the wilderness. He vanished, crossed state lines, changed locations, and started over. And as soon as he did, the pattern returned. More disappearances, more fear. Because now, he knew how far he could go and how long he could avoid being caught. But no matter how careful someone is, mistakes happen. And eventually, his did. In 1978, after a series of events that drew attention, he was arrested again. This time, there was no escape. The evidence was stronger, the connections clearer, and the image he had built began to fall apart. In court, the charm was still there, but it didn't carry the same weight anymore. Because now, people weren't just seeing the surface, they were seeing the pattern, the manipulation, the deception, the reality. And slowly, the truth became unavoidable. Ted Bundy was found guilty, sentenced, and for the first time, there was a sense that it was over. But even then, people struggled to understand not just what he did, but how he did it. How someone could appear so normal while hiding something so dark. Because the fear wasn't just about him, it was about what he represented. The idea that danger doesn't always look dangerous, that sometimes it looks familiar, friendly, even trustworthy. And that realization stays with people because it changes how you see the world, how you see strangers, how you interpret trust. Ted Bundy was eventually sentenced to death, and in 1989, his story came to an end. But the impact didn't, because long after the case was closed, the questions remained, not just about what he did, but why. Why someone who had opportunities, who had intelligence, who had a future, would choose a path like that. And the truth is, there isn't always a clear answer. Sometimes, understanding doesn't come, and all that's left is the reality of what happened. A reminder that not every threat is obvious, that sometimes the most dangerous person in the room is the one no one suspects. And that's where this story leaves us. This is Global Shadows. Subscribe and stay with the story.